Welcome to the European Parliamentary Research Service podcasts.
Today we'll focus on the Belgrade-Pristina dialogue and the rocky road towards a normalisation of relations between Serbia and Kosovo. We'll look at unresolved disputes, renewed efforts to resolve sticking points, and the EU's role as facilitator. Stay with us.
13 years after Kosovo broke away from Serbia following a deadly war in the Balkans, the two countries remain mired in mutual non-recognition, with disastrous effects for both.
Both countries aspire to EU membership, but until the dispute is resolved, both will be barred from the EU, as regional cooperation and good neighbourly relations are essential preconditions for all Western Balkans countries to join the bloc.
Furthermore, for Kosovo, which Serbia and many other countries, including 5 EU member states, still do not officially recognise as an independent and sovereign state, the dream of joining the United Nations and NATO will also need to wait.
Pristina and Belgrade have been engaged in an EU-mediated dialogue since 2011. However, after a few initial successes, such as the Brussels Agreement of 2013, progress has stalled. So, what are the main stumbling blocks?
Well, among the main obstacles are the very different expectations and understanding of what normalisation means for the two sides. So while for Kosovo the end of the dialogue equals mutual recognition, for Serbia this is clearly a red line, as its constitution still defines Kosovo as an integral part of the Serbian territory. So for Belgrade, normalisation doesn't equal recognition of independence, but more like better economic cooperation.
A second difficulty, and the most sensitive currently, is to agree on who will govern the Serb-majority communities in Kosovo.
To overcome all these difficulties, the Belgrade-Pristina dialogue was relaunched in 2020 and supported by the international community. The appointment of United States Special Presidential Envoy Richard Grenell and the Special EU Representative Miroslav Lajcak reflected the importance of the normalisation process. However, progress has been slow due to the lack of coordination and communication between the US and the EU.
But there is hope that this will improve. The new Biden administration has said it wants to cooperate more closely with the EU on a range of global and regional issues, and help Kosovo and Serbia to move forward.
On the EU side, hopes are also running high. After almost 2 years of deadlock, the two sides agreed to meet again and restart dialogue in July 2020, as announced by the EU Special Representative Miroslav Lajcak.
The EU facilitated dialogue on comprehensive normalisation of relations between Serbia and Kosovo is back on track after 20 months.
Earlier on, Serbian President Aleksandar Vučić had made clear both his hopes and the challenges ahead.
I hope that we can be the 28th EU member state in the future, and it takes a lot of things to be done, but also it takes some circumstances to be in our favor and to reach many difficult agreements in the future. Without solution in dialogue with Pristina, the European perspective of Serbia will, of course, not be certain. And people in Serbia must know this. They must hear about this. And that's why we need to work and to try to work on compromise solutions.
But these won't be easy to find, at least not until the issue of mutual recognition is solved. Let's listen to Avdullah Hoti, who was Kosovo's Prime Minister until the 22nd of March this year.
We are starting a process to reach a final comprehensive agreement of full normalization of relations between Kosovo and Serbia. And with full normalization, everybody understands that this can be achieved only through mutual recognition.
And following the snap elections of February 2021, new Prime Minister Albin Kurti said that he's ready to engage in a dialogue with Serbia where people will be the beneficiaries.
This is definitely an encouraging sign, and on the EU side, as the EU's High Representative for Foreign Affairs and Security Policy, Josep Borrell, made clear, support for dialogue between the two sides will continue as stakes are high.
The European Union has been, and it continues to be, ready to support and to facilitate the efforts to find a comprehensive, final, and legally binding normalization agreement. Such an agreement is crucial for a better future of the people of Kosovo and Serbia. It's crucial for their European perspective and for the security and stability of the region.
But new difficulties are arising. EU attitudes towards enlargement have shifted from enlargement enthusiasm to a sort of enlargement fatigue, and finally, a kind of enlargement resistance, arguing a tougher stance towards enlargement in some member states.
Furthermore, the internal political situation in both countries remains fragile, and painful memories and wounds take time to heal.
Yet the European Parliament remains convinced that the perspective of EU membership for countries in the Western Balkans is a positive force for change and helps countries which were once at war with each other to reconcile and move forward positive reform agenda as good neighbours.
This is a European Parliamentary Research Service podcast.
Thanks for listening.